Davis from Syracuse, New York. In recent years, there has been an unfortunate trend of games from established AAA franchises having sequels that range from disappointing to being so bad they nearly kill a franchise altogether. I understand that there are a lot of complicated reasons for why a bad game can end up on store shelves, such as mismanagement of studio resources, development budget cuts, pressure from a major publisher to meet deadlines, just to name a few. Unfortunately, due to NDAs and potential legal repercussions, we don't often get an opportunity to hear directly from the developers themselves about what caused a game to ship in the condition that it did. My question is, if you had an opportunity to have a candid roundtable discussion with the developers of any bad game, AAA or otherwise, to hear their side of the story about what happened during a game development, or during a game's development, what game would you choose to discuss? I think there are a lot of well-meaning people who work really hard on games who aren't completely at fault for why a game ships in a broken or unfinished state. And I think it would be enlightening to hear what they have to say.
I think recent games, the one that comes to mind to me is Artifact.
Okay, sure.
That one's a big deal for me in a lot of reasons because A, it's the first game that Valve put out in a really long time.
Yeah.
You would get like Richard Garfield there in the mix.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people would have a lot of things to say about that game.
Especially what happened with it post-release.
Yeah.
Like that they basically have almost started pretending it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
At this point.
Are they doing that because they're going to revamp it?
Yeah, they put out a statement a while back because like nobody was playing the game. I don't know if you saw that its concurrent players on Steam was like barely triple digits. They flat out said like, yeah, we're going to rework this game. We're going to make it better. But that was a long time ago, and they haven't said anything since.
Yeah, they've been focused on Underlords.
Yes, and people who were on that team are now working on Underlords. So
which seems to be a lot more successful.
Yeah. So who can say?
What's up with the relationship to it? Did they like bring in those guys that made Auto Chess?
So the original Auto Chess mod people are currently working on Auto Chess Origins, and they're working on making a PC port of that for Epic. But they're their own thing. Valve put out a blog statement saying that they wanted to work with them. They were in talks with them, and that they have each other's blessings and stuff. And they were able to institute stuff like you could buy like back when it was it still is a Dota mod, but they like enabled you could like give them $1 for these upgraded features, which wasn't in the game before. So like it seemed like a decent relationship. It wasn't like, hey, we're swooping in and trying to steal this thing, which maybe some people could perceive the Riot thing as maybe being a little more along those lines.
Are they making an Auto Chess?
Oh yeah, it's the most popular Auto Chess.
Well, that's a surprise.
The most popular of Auto Chess. I've got a movie actually.
Okay. All right, sure.
Yeah,
I'll allow it.
Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Oh,
so
interesting.
There was a work print that was leaked, and that work print is vastly different than what the end result. Like even the director's cut is very, very different. Like they made Michael Myers into like a sympathetic kind of character.
In the work print?
In the work print, yeah. For example, like Michael Myers, like he befriended like a worker inside of the insane asylum, but in the theatrical print, they had Michael Myers like ripping out of chains and then murdering that guy for some reason, and I want to ask Rob Zombie if like he leaked the goddamn work print, and the studio made him, completely change a bunch of shit because it is vastly different, like in tone, in a lot of scenes, just crazy. I want to ask him. Rob, if you're listening.
He's a big fan of the show, I understand.
Yeah.
The Quiet Man.
Okay, sure.
I thought passed in mind.
Duke Nukem Forever.
Okay, sure.
I feel like that would be a lot of just people going.
Which era of Duke Nukem Forever? Because that's
the whole thing.
That's like a 12-year span.
Yeah.
The whole thing. Because
I want to know that story.
Yeah, I think there's the 3D Realms story,
and
then there's the Gearbox story.
Yeah.
Because those are two different phases.
Well, all right. Colonial Marines.
Oh boy.
Frankly, I remember seeing the screenshots for the original Colonial Marines back in high school and being blown away and like hoping that game finally did come out. And when it did, it was just so
There were some problems with
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah.
I mean, we know some stuff about that game because there was a lawsuit filed, and some
Yeah.
of it was like entered into evidence or whatever.
Entered in as evidence.
I don't think this rises to the level of badness that he's asking about here, but I kind of want to say Mass Effect 3 because people were so fucking mad about the way that game turned out, and I would just
Yeah.
love to know who made which decisions about the
Sure.
ending. And like, there's just so much. There were so many like anonymous forum posts and like scuttlebutt floating around in the months after that game came out, like blaming specific people on the staff for specific aspects of the ending and stuff like that. And I would really love to know like the truth of like who actually wrote what and who actually like insisted that it go out the way it did.
Right.
Without, without that veil of like uncertainty, of like, I don't know who actually wrote this forum post. This could be bullshit. This could be somebody with an axe to grind. Like, who knows?
I mean, Andromeda.
Yeah, well, so Andromeda and Anthem are weird because Kotaku did those big exposés
Yeah.
on those games, so we've got like some
Yeah.
fuzzy picture of what happened there.
I find those really interesting reads.
Yes, those are cathartic in a way.
Yeah.
When you look forward to a game and it doesn't pan out, like to at least find out what happens is kind of nice.
Did Dyack ever, come out like in defense of Too Human?
No.
No.
Something I would love to hear, and the game's not even out yet. We don't know how it's going to be, but I'm sure there's going to be a million stories that we'll never hear about what it is like to work on the Avengers game right now. Because like working with Marvel and Disney presumably has to have a lot of interesting restrictions and stuff, and like the process of redesigning the characters and all that, I'm sure is just
Actor licensing.
and just like where what villains they could have, all I'm sure it was down to a T, and just
I thought you were going to say Star Citizen. And that, I think,
well, that's
is
never
gonna
coming
be
out.
Did you bought in, right? Didn't you? Didn't you buy like $20 pack or
I
something?
think so.
Like,
I got like a starter ship or something.
enough to like
remember.
play the alpha or something
Yeah.
like that.
Didn't Vinny and I do a video of that?
Probably. I'm gonna say probably.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
It's still a weird thing.
The last footage I saw floating around like a month ago looked surprisingly good.
Really.
Yeah.
I just
Enough to make me wonder if we're going to get to the point where we have to put our feet in our mouths and say this game's cool and not this thing is a scam.
I don't know. I always felt weird about the CryEngine part of it because I never felt like I have this really weird thing. It's the CryEngine games and the Battlefield games on PC always felt like they were laggy to me. Like for some reason the feel of those games never felt right. And with a game like this, I feel like it needs to be very, very precise.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it always, what little I've played of it just feels very sluggish and weird.
I want to say, didn't they switch to Amazon Lumberyard at some point? I mean, that's still
Did they?
that's still CryEngine based, so that's not a huge change on that end. But I think that might be the case.
Okay.
That'll probably come out someday.
I think something will be available for purchase.
Some product.
Bold statement.
Yeah.
I guess
You could buy
it currently is, yeah.
buy $1,000 spaceship right now.
Yep. You can get in it, maybe.
Yep.
Look at it.